Ladies and gentlemen, this next fight is three-minute rounds in the APFC featherweight division. Brought to us by Rio Brazil Steakhouse. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist standing at 5 feet, 8 inches tall. He weighed in at 145 pounds and fights out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. Here is Isaac Barahona. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist standing at 5 feet, 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 143.8 pounds and fights out of Richmond, Virginia. Here is Roberto Romero. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Jason King.
You could convince me that Roberto Romero sold every ticket here tonight with that reception. What a welcome.
Man, the crowd here tonight in Virginia has just been great, man. And really, really supplementing the fights.
They're electric. Romero Barahona collide at the center.
Both of these guys just putting their head down and throwing their hands. I mean, this is going to be a phone booth fight, you can tell already.
As you say, Barahona deep in on those hips. That was a slick entry. Romero defends well. Love the looping shots of Romero. He's creating some awkward entries.
Barahona with some looping shots of his own. Barahona looking to use his hands to transition to the takedown, as we see early. He took a shot early. It looked like a decent shot, but wasn't able to exactly get in on the hips. But I mean, he just seems to have more dimensions. Maybe we have a low blow here.
Talking about dimensions.
Wasn't quite sure what had happened there.
Downstairs, Isaac Barahona eats a low blow. He did take this fight on 1 week's notice. Had a black eye at the weigh-ins.
Came into this with the black eye, guys. I'm sure he wants everybody to know that.
Yeah, we should have started with that. Here's a highlight of that low blow. David Evans walking me through it.
Well,
oh man.
A mid-air low blow at that. I mean, that was almost comic book light. Yeah, you know, the second he took flight, you know, Romero's just like, no, I'm going to just throw this out there. Obviously, he wasn't expecting his opponent to jump 3 feet in the air when he threw that teep, right?
Certainly unintentional, but boy, tough placement for Isaac Barahona. Seems like he's all good. And we get back into the action. Isaac Barahona, 21 years young. 21 years young, the 8th ranked amateur in South Carolina in the featherweight division. High accolade for such a young guy.
Very much so. I mean, he has a tough opponent here, Romero. Romero just doing a great job coming in, just looking to stalk Barahona. But Barahona is responding very well to every attack that Romero's throwing at him.
Love that tight guard of Barahona, and opening up with some winging shots. Romero circles out beautifully.
Baраhona's very Pacquiao-like in the way he throws his strikes. He just throws, comes forward, throws, and then moves. Like his movement and the way he throws, it just reminds me of like a Manny Pacquiao.
You can see Romero. That one had to have hurt. 90 seconds remain in round number 1.
Romero just gave Barahona some chapstick with that one, man. Just glanced his lips on that one.
Roberto Romero, injured for a long period of time, had a hernia in his back that kept him out of competition for 2 years and 8 months. This is a long layoff that Roberto Romero is ending tonight. Yeah,
now he's in a position on his back that he probably hasn't been in a long time. Great transition from the shot by Barahona, but not able to keep the back as he got too high. And now Romero's coming back, just throwing shots after shot.
Roberto Romero teeing off, but Isaac Barahona gives him a mouthful of knee.
Beautiful wrestling transition by Barahona. Got the single leg transition to the body lock with the trap arm. However, got a little bit too high. Romero capitalized, saw his way out, came up firing, man.
Oh, beautiful shots by Romero. Barahona momentarily paused. Looked like he was taking pictures. 30 seconds remain in round number 1, David Evans.
You know, I said Barahona reminded me a bit of Pacquiao, but damn, Romero's just kind of throwing that volume, man. It's ridiculous.
And he's ripping to the body, ripping upstairs. There are no areas of the body that Romero is not attacking. Another low blow. We welcome back into the action on 145. Barahona whiffs on a 1-2. Romero circles out.
This one has been fireworks.
Beautiful shot there. Now Barahona deep in on the single. Romero defending beautifully, but for how long can Barahona get him down?
Barahona doing a good job getting back to his roots in the wrestling there. I mean, that was a beautiful shot, beautiful takedown transition, beautiful finish.
Heavy hands from both individuals. Each guy eating leather. David Evans, what a first round.
Man, I mean, it's just so much to talk about in that round. That's a hard one to score. I got to give it to Romero, man. The moments that he had, and he capitalized within his striking, it was beautiful.
Let's take it to some highlights. Round number one, Roberto Romero and Isaac Barahona. David Evans.
Here we have Barahona coming out looking to wrestle right away. You know, got into the shot. However, Romero just kind of stayed poised, defended the shot. We had a low blow. Obviously, was not intentional, as you know, he threw that teep down the middle. But as Romero kind of got his hands going, the more Romero got his hands going, the more Barahona wanted to wrestle. He got in, changed levels, body lock, got him to the takedown there. Now he's on top. I believe that was more so the finish of the round there. However, Barahona doing a good job transitioning his hands to his wrestling, which is pretty much was the story of that fight. I mean, we saw Romero had some good moments with some flurries there, which would have been great. Very hard round to score going into the second one. I'm going to go Barahona.
Isaac Barahona, Roberto Romero find themselves in the second frame at 145. Beautiful shot right there from Barahona, just coming right over the top. But Romero, in my opinion, a little bit tighter striking so far.
Very much tight, not wasting any motion with his strikes.
Roberto Romero said that he knew his opponent is a wrestler, has been drilling takedown defense this entire camp, feels very confident in striking, and predicted a second round finish. It's time for Romero to come alive.
Here we are. If you bet on that ticket, it's time to cash in if you're Romero.
Like mentioned, Isaac Barahona, full-time barber, loves giving out the cuts. He's chopping it up inside the octagon. State qualifier in high school wrestling. We can certainly see that high-level pedigree presenting itself here tonight at APFC.
And the level change on cue there for Barahona. He's in a good position to finish with the inside trip, which is going to put him right in Romero's guard.
The urgency on Isaac Barhona's face to get this into the grappling domain.
I think that's just kind of been his demeanor so far in this whole fight. If you just kind of look at the expression on his face, like he came out there, you don't know what he's trying to get, but he's like, I got to get something. I got to get my hands on something right away.
Like Denzel Washington says, I'm going home with something.
I'm going home with something.
Roberto Romero, wise to all of the tricks of the trade on the ground.
Romero on his back here doing a great job getting wrist control, almost looking like he was looking to trap the wrist to throw up a triangle. So watch out for the attacks off his back.
1 minute, 10 seconds remains in round number two. Gotta say, when Roberto Romero started training mixed martial arts, it was only because his younger brother had started months before, and he said, I can't let my younger brother beat me up.
No, man, it's not usually you see that the other way around, you know, where it's Anthony Pettis, Sergio Pettis. But, I mean, he's definitely the inverse, and, I mean, it's carried him so far.
Romero trying to isolate some arms here, but positionally just against the cage, not really able to do much.
Barona's doing everything right here positionally. He has his head where it's supposed to be, great head control. Hips are high, so his pressure's constantly coming down here on Romero. His hands are never in a bad place to get trapped and allow his opponent to get wrist control and throw up a triangle, but almost as I said, we almost saw it there from Romero.
What a grueling pace that Isaac Barahona is setting on the ground here. Again, constant movement, just chipping away at Roberto Romero from all directions. Final 15 seconds. I mean, this is as dominant of a round as you can get.
Very much so, positionally. Barona's on the back now.
Roberto Romero defending it nicely, but that was a tricky situation. Wow. Isaac Barahona just inching closer and closer to a potential fight-ending sequence.
That was a beautiful transition from, you know, the top mount to the back position there for Barahona. If he had maybe 30 more seconds, maybe we could have saw the end of this fight.
Talking about seeing things, let's take a look at some of the highlights from round number two. Wrestling dominance from Isaac Barahona.
Beautiful shot there by Barahona. He starts at the double leg and then works up to the inside trip and lands right in guard. And then, I mean, literally from the second he landed in guard, went right to work, grinding the head position, keeping the hip pressure, just throwing pot shots whenever he can, but I mean, position, and control was pretty much the way that entire round went. Transitioning to the back, and you gotta easily give that round there to Barahona.
If you're Roberto Romero, what would be some of the suggestions ahead of this third and final round?
Well, he came out and he started the fight stalking and just letting his hands go. He has to get back there. I feel like once Barahona started shooting, he made an adjustment and went into defensive mode a little bit too much.
Time to let the offense fly. Third and final round between Roberto Romero and Isaac Barahona. Excellent leg kick right there from Romero. Not a weapon we've seen him leverage too much.
And when you have wrestlers, it's always good to attack the legs. I've been on the receiving end of that, you know, and that'll take away some of the pop from their shots.
Again, the tight guard, sophisticated striking from Romero. Distance management with that jab. Beautiful work. Each guy, Romero, the southpaw, Barahona, stance switching really nicely this whole fight.
I love Romero's just old school boxing style, man. It's very beautiful to watch.
Leg kick from Romero. Outside of competition, Roberto Romero works security in downtown Richmond. He's certainly stopped a number of situations outside those clubs.
Very much so.
We'll see if he can stop the situation here tonight in Isaac Barahona.
Barahona feinting with the shot, coming up with the leg kick, shades of TJ Dillashaw.
I feel the question is not if, but when Isaac Barahona is going to shoot. Right there.
He's been doing a very good job of hiding his leg attacks. You know, coming in behind punches, coming in behind feints, so he's just not shooting naked shots there.
Oh, Roberto Romero had some bad intentions on that hook. Isaac Barahona evades, eats another leg kick. Those are adding up, David Evans.
Those are adding up if I'm Barahona. You definitely want to look into checking some of those kicks or even moving out of the way. But, you know, he's going to get back to his bread and butter with the wrestling there. Romero doing a great job defending, got the double underhooks.
Oh! Massive knees upstairs from both guys. Isaac Barahona with a couple deep breaths. And once again, urgent to find this back to the mat.
Look, we know where Barahona wants to be. So if you're Romero, you gotta maybe switch up your attacks too. We know his hands are clean. Maybe throw a knee or an uppercut up the middle.
Final minute remains. Can Roberto Romero put some heat on this final round? Isaac Barahona exchanging, Barahona down.
Nice short left hook by Romero. We spoke to his beautiful pocket punching there, and as we see it, it almost paid off for him and put an end to the fight. But Barahona being stubborn, going back to his wrestling with that wrestler mentality, and grinded right through it, and now he's on top.
It's ironic how the knockdown seemed advantageous for Barahona.
Very much so. It's like he wouldn't, I don't think that's the one time in the fight he didn't plan on shooting.
Roberto Romero grounded, getting collapsed right here. Final 15 seconds. Some hellacious elbows from Isaac Barahona.
Last 10 seconds here of this round. Look for Barahona to just let it all go here. He's in a dominant position on top. He's definitely had to earn every second of this fight, and I think this is a great win for Barahona. You have to go through fights like this to become a great fighter.
1 week notice for Isaac Barahona.
And the black eye was already there.
The black eye was already there. Don't think that came as a result of Romero. However, Roberto Romero certainly got his licks in tonight, and both guys raising the hands. I would say no one's stock went down.
Standout performance by both guys. These are the fights that people pay to see, Ben.
And look at that, some dance moves from Isaac Barahona. Everybody's had some really good movement tonight.
All right, Ben, if you see me on the main event just out here jigging, don't say nothing if I'm not on the mic. If I just start my 1-2 step, just let me do it.
If you start moving, I'll let you go.
Just let me have it.
Let's take it to this third and final round. Some highlights, David Evans, walk me through.
Here we go, Barahona doing what he does best, getting right to the shots. He didn't get every shot, but he worked off of every shot. Got the shot, feinted shots, came up. We saw some good strikings, but he always went right back to his bread and butter. And, you know, that was the key to victory for him, so to speak, tonight. Just get into his shots. Whether he got them or not, he was making his opponent work and constantly putting Romero on the back foot. Here we have that short left-hand shot where Romero clipped Barahona, and we thought, Barahona was going down, but it really just brought him where he wanted to be. Right back to the shot, ended up on top, and just kind of let it all go here in the last 10 or 15 seconds of this fight.
What a great effort by Roberto Romero, but again, we believe that Barahona's done enough. Let's head inside to Shane Graham to find out the winner between these two fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Our judges scored this contest 29-28 Barahona, 29-28 Romero, and 29-28 for your winner by split decision, Isaac Barahona!
And still undefeated. 7 days notice, 3 days notice, it doesn't matter. Isaac Barahona finds the way to win.